Some more good news in the housing market. Looks like interest rates went down again last week. And ADUs, what is the federal government going to do about financing ADUs? Those articles, and we're going to check on interest rates again. It looks like a good week for interest rates. Next on Real Estate Daily, welcome everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over, at least Monday through Friday, the latest news in real estate, housing, and the mortgage markets. Now, before we jump into it, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, boom, boom. Also, down below, you'll find a buyer's guide. If you're out there looking to buy a home, please do me a favor, go ahead and get that buyer's guide. There's a link down below. Hit that link, put in your email address, and it will send you a copy of it. It makes the whole process so much easier. Now let's jump right into it. Here is an article today, April 13th. It says mortgage rates just fell again, but the news gets even better. It looks like the forecast coming out from Lawrence Yin, he's the chief economic of National Association of Realtors, or NAR, foresees that we're going to see rates again drop for the next month or so. And with that being said, we're in the hottest season of the year. We are in April and May and June. Those are the hottest times when people want to move. Why? Because a lot of people have kids and those kids get out of school, and that's when you want to move before you jump into the new school year. You want to move homes. And so that's what really creates that demand. So that actually is some good news we continue to see in the housing market. I know, again, the naysayers out there are just saying, oh, the housing market's falling apart. We're far from it. We're still up from a year ago. We're up just the entire 2022 and now 2023. Every single month we've been up the year before. All right, jump into the next one. What real estate slump? Here are the cities where the housing market heating up. And we're just seeing all throughout the United States, we're seeing, again, housing market continue to go up. I know that the inventory here in Southern California is low, and it's significantly low. It continues to go down. Week after week, I've been noticing, especially in LA County and in Orange County, we are down 50% from last year at the same time. And in LA County, again, another 50%. We're just seeing there's no houses on the market. Why? Well, there's a lot of people that are scared out there. They're scared. They don't want to move. And where here in Southern California can you move? You really can't. You've had all this equity that you got in your home. You have a 2.5%, maybe 3% interest rate. And then you're going to jump into a bigger home with a bigger mortgage at a 4, 5, maybe 6% interest rate. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So the housing market's really tight. Now that's just one part of it. The other part of it is that the population grows. And if you look back, the number one population, the age is between 32 and 33 years old. That's what the majority of people who are buying homes, those years, 32, 33 years, that's a peak age of amount of births that happened. And so because of that, we are seeing this demand that is out there. There's obviously a lot of it sitting on the sideline because the Dream for All program, at least what showed us, was the second that they felt that there was a really solid program, a mortgage program out there, you saw flood in the state of California how many people came in. So it helped the economy out here, and it helps out, from the state economy all the way down to, people just getting out and getting away from that whole being a renter mentality, and I want to rent everything, to becoming homeowners and not having to deal with your payments. At least your housing payment keep going up every single year. All right, let's jump into a very important article next. This is in the LA Times. It says, looking to finance an ADU, more help may be on the way. So let's go read this, a couple lines here. It says, hoping to increase the housing supply and help families build wealth, the Federal Housing Administration, FHA, on Thursday proposed changes to its guidelines that would make it easier to buy a house with accessory dwelling unit, ADU, or to build an ADU. So either you could have a single family resident that had a granny unit, now it's called an ADU on the back, Or if you had a big enough piece of property, you can build an ADU. The agency's proposal will allow lenders to offer renovation loans to build ADUs and consider future rent from the unit to calculate on how much they're going to hand out. Guys, this is so important that it's happening right now. ADUs. It will increase the amount of houses out there and amount of properties that will be, lived in, and we're not going to, hopefully it will be obviously on the cheaper side. And it also brings in that air of having a rental unit, not having to go buy a whole nother house and then rent out your previous house. Now you could have a renter in the back, and it could be a relative, right? Or, an in-law or a parent, whatever it is. Now you can watch them and they're close to you, obviously living on the same lot, as well as, childcare, right? All the other things that come and associate with it. But you also have your privacy, and that's what ADU has. A new family doesn't want to have, in some families, obviously they're okay having mom and dad or in-laws live there, but it really cramps the privacy. But if you can put them in the back and then they can pay some of the fees of the costs there, then it makes complete sense. And now the government is willing to do loans, renovation loans that can get those up there for you. And if you're doing it right and you look at the numbers, if you can rent it out for about what your monthly payment would be at the renovation loan, it completely makes sense because it brings up the value of your property significantly. Now, I'm just guesstimating, but it could bring it up $100,000, $200,000 just having that AD unit, especially if it is at least has a kitchen and a bath, at least 3/4 bath in it. Then it becomes self-sustaining, and people don't have to go into the main house to actually do any cooking or going to use the facilities. All right, next article. The real estate industry battles a rising tide of email fraud. I've said this, and I say this to all my clients. When you're going to wire your initial deposit, or you're wiring over any additional deposits or down payments to close a property, it is so important that you call the escrow company in advance and then go over or just reconnect and confirm what the wiring instructions are. So you have a bank account and you have a routing number, and those obviously are the two most important. Obviously, you want to write the bank name down and you want to write your escrow number down, and you need to call the bank out. You need to call the escrow company outside the bank. There has been fraud, meaning people receive emails, random emails saying, they figure out that you're in escrow. They say, wire your money to this bank at this place at this routing number. And we did an article a couple years ago over someone that had $138,000, wired it right over. And I'm like, I tell everyone, make sure wherever you wire the money, you're talking to escrow right outside there. You're confirming everything. The scammers are out there, and they're in groves. All right, so let's jump into the interest rates as was projected yesterday by CNBC and my girlfriend Diana Olick. Not really, but rates were going to go down because of the CPI number, and they did, but they only went down slightly. So 30-year conventional went down 6 basis points. 30-year FHA only went down about 4 basis points. We really didn't see, everything just kind of floated down a little bit. It's the absorption from the market of how rates are going to go. It takes a day or two because it just didn't really, I think that the number was lower than anyone expected. But I don't think it sat well with everybody personally. So even though rates went down, they're like, we're not 100% sure. We know energy has gone up significantly in the last 30 days, but we know that, food has gone up, but things don't quite make sense. And of course, a lot of the CPI print or the CPI lie is printed directly from housing or living. And because of that, we know that that's been going up. And so it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, it's year over year. So if I go back to last year in March, we did see a bump up in rates, and we're going to a bump up in the CPI number, and we're going to continue to see it in the next 4 months. So the CPI numbers were in the 7s, 8s, and approached the 9s in the next in April, May, June, and July. So with that being said, year over year, it's been terrible. It's gone down a little bit, but still, ever since the new administration has come in, it's terrible. Terrible. It's one of the worst ever. And even though 5% is like they're going down, nah, we've gone up about 13 to 14% in the last 24 months. 14% is now being spent because it wasn't projected in 2021. Both the government, Janet Yellen, as well as the Fed, Jerome Powell, said, oh, it was transitory. Even though we were at 5%, it was transitory, and that was a lie. All them and their 400 PhDs or whatever they have, how stupid can you be, right? How stupid can you be? But this is where we're at, and we have to accept it unless, as a lot of people are starting to talk about, got to move out of the country. You guys, hope you enjoy your day. It was another fantastic day here in Southern California. If you're looking for a house, again, go down below, check it out, hit that link, get that buyer's guide. Otherwise, guys, you take care, and I will see you tomorrow.